Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm JetXC, and man, JJK is back in form. Gege Akutami's best work. We are back at it. And it's a great chapter this week. Chapter 148, The Perfect Preparation. And, it starts off really interesting with the conversation between Naoya and Maki. Nalia's over here kind of mentioning Maki's face, like, hey, what are you gonna do? And Maki just comes back with a little quick jab talking about, oh, you were looking at faces? I thought you basically look at asses. Which I thought was a nice little jab at Nalia, knowing how he is and how he basically just views women as objects. So, but yeah, he gets into it more and he starts to get serious. He's like, oh, no, seriously, what are you gonna do? Are you're not good at anything. You have no curse technique. No one will ever want you, basically, he's saying. And then he kind of jabs at Maki again, talking about, hey, I've been bored. Why don't we go back to the days where I used to basically bully you? And, you know, he gets into it a little bit more and saying, are you just going to be a Kotsu and Megumi's lapdog for the rest of your life? And, man, it really just goes to show how the Zenin clan is just full of a bunch of people who are selfish. They've got their own goals. They're in it for the family, the wealth, and it just makes for an interesting dichotomy of characters, man. The Zenin clan is just—it's a crazy group, and I'd really be interested in seeing the Kamo clan, the Gojo clan. I really do hope we get some more on them too. But moving on, we get Maki walking to the cursed warehouse, and we're met by the same woman that we saw way back, I'd say about 5 chapters ago. Not too sure about that, but it was the person walking with Nalia. It was actually the first chapter after Shibuya was concluded with. So we get this woman walking with Nalia, and or excuse me, we got the woman walking with Nalia, and she says to Maki, hey, you can't go in there. What are you doing? Like, stop. And then Maki pulls out the key, and she's like, hey, I got it from the clan head of the Zenin, which is Megumi Fushiguro. And then we kind of get like a flashback of them two talking, Megumi and Maki. And Maki basically lets Megumi know, like, hey, you're head of the clan. And Megumi, surprised as ever, is like, what? And, she basically says, look, I can leverage you. I can get what I need from this cursed warehouse. And, things are going to start drastically changing within this Jujutsu world. And the families, the headquarters, everything. And Megumi, looking bewildered, is just like, Maki, why don't you do it? And, of course, I think everybody knows how Megumi is. He has no interest in the Zenin family, obviously, because he never grew up in the Zenin family, and he definitely doesn't have any interest in being the clan head, right? And then Megumi basically says, you know what, Maki, you do it. Like, I don't want to do this. And Maki then says, no one's going to accept me. No one's going to follow me. You Megumi, you have a domain expansion. You've caught Satoru Gojo's eye. You've got all these things to where you could easily be a clan head. And Megumi's just like, look, but you can get all these things just by becoming the clan head. You could get all this notoriety, everything. Why don't you just do it? And now we get a little bit of insight on Maki and kind of a reason why she doesn't necessarily want to take it. And she says, I'm still not good enough. And her reasoning is because I can't create a place where Mai would feel like she belongs. Wow. And just a pause right here. This is pretty crazy because I would say a lot of us thought, she was doing it for her own, not necessarily selfish reasons, but she wanted to prove everybody wrong. She didn't care, who thought of, who thought what of her or what she was been told she could or couldn't do. She wanted to do this to prove a point to her family. Yeah, but she wants to make a better place for Maki, which is, it really goes to show that, just like Mai cares about Maki, and Mai was upset that she went and did her own thing, or excuse me, Maki went and did her own thing. She was upset because she basically left her. She wanted to be at the bottom, quote unquote, with Maki, so they could at least enjoy each other and be together. But Maki wanted more for herself, and part of the reason now that Maki wants to become the clan head is because she wants to make a better place for her sister. So to me, that's just great, and that's something really new that we've learned about the two of them, and Maki specifically. But yeah, and then we get to the next couple of pages, and we basically get um, the woman who we now know is the mom basically saying, come back, and she's being super serious this time. And you kind of, if you look at the panel, you kind of see Mai slightly sad, and then her mom is like, why are you always like this? And then, before Maki completely leaves, she tells her, just for once, make me glad that I gave birth to you, Maki. And it's just the stuff that Maki and Mai have to go through in this Zenin clan family is insane. And it really doesn't help that Maki has no cursed energy. And it really goes to show what Toji may have been through, because no matter how savage of a person Toji is, I mean, the fact that he had no cursed energy, him growing up as a kid, had to have been rough. And I know Gege Akutami has touched on this in past interviews about how Toji used to get basically bullied, similar to how we could say Maki was getting bullied by Naoya. Just having no cursed energy in a world of Jujutsu sorcery is not a good thing at all. You're at the bottom completely. But yeah, and this is where things get crazy. So Maki opens the door to the curse warehouse, and shockingly, if you put two and two together from Ogi, from Ogi and his lineage and his relation to Naobito, you would know that basically Ogi is Maki and Mai's father, and he's waiting there in the warehouse. And if you look behind him, it's empty. And then he mentions, there's nothing here, Maki. There's no cursed tools. They anticipated this. Or he says he anticipated it, basically. And then, what's even crazier is Mai is on the ground, bloodied, beaten, saying, like, you idiot, like, why did you come here? And it's crazy because it's just like, okay, something's going on. Like, this is some type of setup. And lo and behold, we turn the page, and what do we get? We get a conversation between Naoya and Junichi. And basically, Junichi's talking to Naoya, explaining, like, look, you're way too reckless, Naoya. We need Megumi Fushiguro right now. We don't agree that everything shouldn't go to Megumi Fushiguro. But for relations, he's the best. And it can repair the relations with the Gojo clan, which is something he mentions. So that's something that, that's one of the reasons why, okay, having him as the head would be a good thing. And also, too, Junichi mentions later on in the conversation that him being friends with Naruto Shikamo is another good thing. But like I said before, they don't want him to completely be the head. They don't agree with the fortunes going to him, and most of the things going to him as being the clan head. So this is where the plan kind of gets into play, right? And he basically mentions, getting rid of him without reason will only hurt the Zenin clan's standings, right? So he mentions that, and then he mentions the rule that, which was rule number 2 that the Jujutsu headquarters put out, which was wow. Satoru Gojo has been deemed an accomplice in the Shibuya incident, right? And so they're going to use that as an advantage, because what we know is that Yuji, Megumi, Okotsu, Maki, everybody on that side wants to get Gojo Satoru freed from the prison realm. So, when we get to the panel, it says we must execute Megumi, Maki, and Mai as rebels plotting to free Satoru Gojo. So, they don't want to kill Megumi Fushiguro outright. They want a reason for it, and their reasoning is he wants to free Gojo. So, once that's put into play, and let's say they are successful with doing so, whoever becomes the clan head, which is looking like from the conversation it would be Ogi, but you know that maybe could change, but it could be Ogi, right? And then those three would make some kind of arrangement for Ogi to be in charge, but then they have different advantages, basically putting in different things to make sure the family and its relations to the other families are in good shape, and that everything is for the Zenin clan. So, pretty cunning plan. They want to get rid of Megumi, Maki, and Mai, and say, look, these guys were plotting against freeing Gojo. Insane. Insane. And then we get the fact that, of course, Ogi is the father. And now he mentions, like, whoa, wait a minute. So, how does Ogi feel about killing Maki and Mai? And Junichi's like, well, it was his idea. Unbelievable. And then that's when we get into the scene. And we get that secret art falling blossom emotion technique, which we saw against the fight against Dagon, Nabito. It was done between Dagon and Nabito. And if we remember, Nabito used that as kind of a anti-domain expansion technique, to where anything within Nabito's vicinity, curse energy if you saw it, curse energy basically gets shot out to counter whatever is being thrown or whatever is about to attack Nabito, right? So it's a complete defense technique. And what we get here is slightly different iteration of that. And I guess in a way, it's still a countermeasure, right? But it's mentioned that it's used, or it changes when used in a sword standoff. And it basically says here, it covers itself in cursed energy to attack anything that it comes into contact with. So what's about to happen is one big swing of the sword with cursed energy, right? So he's trying to finish this in one single blow. Maki, on the other hand, she's got the Dragon Bone Curse tool from Juzo Komiya, the weird dude that's obsessed with making coat racks, right? And we get the exclamation that it accumulates force and curse energy and ejects them out of the back of the bone blade. And that's in accordance with the user's will. So it's kind of like, say Maki were to slash the sword one way, then she could use the force of the curse energy to quickly slash back. Or maybe, honestly, she could slash and then use it to kind of do a 360 spin, however she wanted to do it. You know, just thinking in your head, how could she use this? Right? But then she explains that Ogi doesn't know what this curse tool can do, so she's going to feign entering a single strike, but she's going to intend to do a second or third strike with the ability of this curse tool. And then they stance up, both of them together, and Ogi, before he's about to attack, he's like, do you know why my older brother was chosen as the head and not me? And Maki kind of, takes a jab at him. Is it because you're willing to kill your children? Which is, again, messed up. And then we get the fight sequence, right? And Gege's paneling is great. And sometimes it may take a few times to go back and just to see exactly what happened, but here's how I interpret it. He begins to slash, grabs his blade. Maki blocks it, but she's surprised at how powerful and quick it is. She blocks it, and then after that, it looks like Ogi's about to go in for a second slash, but the jets from the Dragon Bone blade come in quick and Maki's able to break the blade, right? And then Ogi's looking shocked and surprised. Maki then gets behind Ogi, and this is where it gets a little crazy. Maki then gets hit by Ogi, and then Ogi goes up for another attack and stabs, from what it looks like, yeah, stabs Maki. And then once he stabs Maki, he then comes down again and kind of slashes her, injuring her, right? And Maki was surprised because she was like, well, wait a minute, I thought it broke. And then he reveals that the blade, half of the rest of the blade is kind of reinforced with, it looks to be cursed energy, basically. And then Ogi's like, the reason why I couldn't become the head of the clan was because my children are all worthless. And then you see Maki fall to the floor. And man, this is crazy. And if you see that panel where Maki's glasses kind of break off there, and you see the side of where she got stabbed, it's just terrible. I really don't know what's going to happen. I really hope Maki doesn't die. It doesn't look like it was anything super fatal. Ogi might go in for the final blow, but I really hope someone comes in to save the day, because Mai might do something, but Mai might get killed by trying to save Maki. But man, it is so messed up again. The conflicts that are going on within the Zanin family. And this is all for power. This is all for relationships, money, greed. Jujutsu Kaisen, man, it is so crazy. And last chapter get Yaga dying, so I'm really scared because we've got Bara out of commission. We don't know what's going on with her. More than likely she's alive, but again, we still don't know. And we have the possibility of Maki dying next chapter. Jujutsu Kaisen, man. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Again, thanks for checking out my channel. I'll be making more content. Please like and subscribe on the video. My name is JetXC, and I'm out. Thanks, guys.